Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of Grounded, where you get real life topics from a biblical perspective. My name is Brian Boyd. Today's topic is dominion, and everyone, as always, I pray you had an amazing week. And before we dive to this episode this week, please be sure to like and follow the Grounded Podcast, every platform you happen to be listening on. And with that being said, y'all, let's talk about dominion. And everyone, as you could probably tell, I'm a little excited for this episode, and I've honestly been waiting weeks to get to this point, okay? Because this is where, if you've been following the series for a little bit titled Grounded, I talk about how you end up getting to the life that you want, okay? And if you haven't checked that out over the past couple weeks, quick recap, we based it on Genesis 1:28, and that simply reads that God blessed them and said to them, "Be fruitful and increase in number, fill the earth and subdue it, rule over the fish in the sea and the birds in the sky and over every creature that moves on the ground." And this verse, I truly believe, is what we need for all of us to be successful in life, okay? For us to turn whatever passion or interest that we may have in something into something that we're actually living off of. And that is actually something that I talk heavily about in this book right here next to me titled Grounded, okay? Because I truly believe that all of us on this earth was put here for a reason and a purpose, and we were given everything that we need to turn that particular purpose into a lifestyle, to live simply doing that thing that we love the most, or the thing that we inspire to change, or something that we dreamed about since we were children, okay? And this week, I'm basically talking about the last phase of this, and this is simply titled dominion, all right? So this is after the fact that you found your fruit, after you figured out whatever it was that you were supposed to do, you figured out whatever you had an interest in, you started growing that thing and expanding on it, which lets me into episode 2 titled Expansion, where we talked about how to take the stuff that you've made, how do you continue to increase it, and how you expand into other areas. And that typically involves you going and working and collaborating with other people. That involves you building relationships with them, because I truly believe that while we can achieve some level of success by ourselves, in order for us to truly get to where we're supposed to be, we have to collaborate with other people. And this here is the final episode of this series, and this is simply talking about dominion. And to go off of the beaten path, I'm actually going to take you a different direction for where I went in my book, because I talked about in there how you manage individual aspects of your life. So how you manage your health, how you manage your finances, and then last but not least, how do you continue to manage your time? Because those three things together is how you get things done. This is how you achieve every goal that you're after. And while those things are important, I believe that the topic we're going to talk about tonight is just as equally purposeful and will help you get to the goals that you want to. So with that being said, enough talking about it. Let's get into it. The last piece of Genesis 1:28 that we're going to cover reads like this. And it says to rule over the fish in the sea and the birds in the sky and over every living creature that moves on the ground. And y'all, in this, the Lord has showed me something completely different from where I was going to go today. And from what I've gathered from this, after we get to the point where we've managed everything that we have and we've done all that expansion, right? We have the authority over the entire earth or the area that we're in. And I believe that that comes in three ways, okay? And the first of which is to rule everything that's under you. And when you look at this, God gave them the command to rule over the fish in the sea, okay? And these are things that we won't typically walk across, okay? These are things we won't typically interact with. But in order to get the fish, we have to reach down into the sea, or we have to cast our fishing pods or our nets or whatever it is out there to catch those things. And I believe in a literal sense, this involves us reaching back to people in society. This is us reaching back to people who may not have the same opportunities that we now have, and pulling them up and mentoring them and teaching them and giving them the opportunities to get to where they want to be in life, okay? This involves simply a phase of impacting other people who want to be successful, all right? And I believe this because when you look at any major field, when you look at any prominent person in history, they're typically known not only for their personal accomplishments, but for the people and generations that they have inspired to go after them, either directly or indirectly. And that's what we have to go as people. And for me, I truly believe that this involves, reaching back maybe to the youth, or maybe giving somebody that's in that field that's a little younger to you, a little less experienced with you, tips and tricks and things that will help them get up the ladder as well. That comes through empowering them. You know what I mean? This can be through internships, speaking engagements, charities, or even events, but regardless of whatever means it is, you're actually getting involved with their lives, okay? And when this happens, you tend to open up a window of opportunities. And I cannot explain. This is like what I was talking about wisdom and how when you open doors for other people, it starts to work for you because generosity is something that pays off over the long period of time. And when you do all of those things, it tends to come back to you positively. All right. This is just karma. Basically, whatever it is you put into life, you'll get out. And I'm telling you, while it may not seem, even at the coast path, that you may not necessarily benefit monetarily or wealth or whatever by reaching back and pulling people up, there's a genuine level of satisfaction that you feel. There's a genuine feeling of joy that you get from helping other people. And that goes with the Bible verse that it's more blessed to give than it is to receive, because that's where you truly get fulfillment from. So I guess to sum up this point, what I'm saying is that when you get to a certain level of success, when you become a leader within your field or your practice or whatever it is that you're doing, your first goal is to try to reach back and pull other people up. It's to try to give other people opportunity and some of the knowledge and the skills that you learned over the years to help make their path to navigate that much easier and to help them get to where you want to be. Because quite frankly, that's pretty much how it comes from a lot of us as people. Yes, we may have gotten to our place through a lot of hard work, effort, blood, sweat, and tears. But the reality of it is that for us to get to our points, we were given chance by people directly or indirectly. We were learning from other people, whether that was from them directly or indirectly. We may have had mentors in our lives, but we may have also had to go and read books and listen to podcasts and go to a range of resources to get our knowledge. We may have had to go to seminars and organization events and things of that nature to get the skill sets and to meet the people and the connections that we met to get to where we are. And I believe personally that it's only right for us to go back and do the same for other people to keep the cycle going. Because as I said, the thing about success, and I say this all the time, is that an old saying about how it gets lonely at the top, but it's only lonely there because we don't pull other people up with us. And that's exactly what this step is. So if you're one of those people, if you are a leader in your field right now, I just want to encourage you to try to reach back, try to help other people that's climbing up, try to give them opportunities. And I'm not saying, just go all in with this and just do whatever. But if you have time, just put a little time aside, spend a little effort and try to encourage people along the way. All right. And I'm telling you, it is something truly, truly fulfilling that comes from this. All right. Moving right along, though, the second phase of this is that God told them to rule over the birds in the sky. And this is the literal translation of ruling everything that's over you. Because when you look at the birds, right, if God gave us authority over them and they fly in the sky, that infers that even though we can't physically reach them if they're up there, that we still have leadership over them, that we can still have some level of influence over them. And for me, in a literal sense, this represents, in my humble opinion, everything that we believe is out of reach in our lives. All right. And this may include organizations. This may be different regions from where we're at, countries, even other fields of influence. So, for instance, if I'm in technology or writing, I may reach out to somebody in arts and crafts. I may reach out to somebody in education. I may reach out to somebody that's in cooking. But regardless, I now have the influence in my field to the point to where I can start to impact other places and areas that's even outside of my expertise. And then last but not least, you also have influence over people that you believe are over you, people that you think are out of your league, so to speak, success wise. These people are also looking down at you, seeing the work that you've done over the years and seeing the amount of authority and influence you have created. And now they're willing to work with you. They're willing to collaborate with you. And when you have these opportunities coming to you, you have to take full advantage of them. OK, and this may involve you marketing your products and your services and stuff to this area. This may be you putting yourself out there on the platform and promoting your business and your vision and all of the things that you're doing right now. This may involve you traveling to places you've never been before. This may involve you meeting new people once again that you haven't met before, many prominent people. This may be you even partnering with those people on projects and things of that nature just to spread and to keep going with the influence that you've already set. And then last but not least, just putting you in an ultimate position of reaching unreachable places, things that you didn't think you had an opportunity to reach. And all of this has originated from you starting with the simple idea, from you starting with the passion that you've had and growing that thing over time, collaborating with other people and getting it out there for the world to see. And I believe that in this particular piece of this verse, that represents the full stand of that verse in Proverbs where it says that your gift will make room for you and put you before great men, because the reality of it is it's not necessarily something that you are, but it's the gifts and the time and the effort that you've put into the thing that you focused on for so long that has now made its way and put you in front of other people and put you in front of the world out there so that they can see the great things that you have done. All right. And with this, if I could sum up this point, this is everything that you once again believe is out of your reach. You've now created a place of influence, authority, and impact to the point to where you start to influence people that you had no idea you was influencing. You start to collaborate with people that you had no idea that you'd be collaborated with. And this is where those true opportunities come from. All right. Because now that you are able to connect with these people, you're able to connect with these entities and organizations, you're able to go further and farther than you ever thought was possible. And all of this is true because you have created the platform, you created the space for all of this to take place. Moving right along, the last piece, the last piece of this verse is to rule over every living creature that moves into the ground. And for this, I believe the literal translation is because now that we looked under and we looked over, this means that we now have authority over everything that's around us. Okay. And this is the things that's in our immediate area of control, our immediate area of influence. Okay. So this is your home. This is your family. This is the people in your community. This is the place you may work at, the people you interact with on a day-to-day basis. These are all of those things coming together. All right. And from what I've seen in life, the most influence that you do have in this area is, of course, over the immediate people that's in your life, your circle of friends, or people that you hang around, and even your associates. Okay. And your whole goal in this phase, just like in the first one of reaching back and reaching down to get other people up, in this phase, you're supposed to empower other people. Okay. So this means you pushing your other friends who may be in other fields, doing other things to keep going after their goals. This is you pushing the associates around you to see more in themselves and to get to where they want to be. This involves you influencing your family, most importantly, everyone that's there to try to get better, to try to do better, to try to be the best that they can be. And the thing about this step in comparison to the other ones is that you're the most involved in this particular phase, because this is the things that you can directly affect. And these are the things that you can actually see the fastest growth within. And I stress this so much because there's a verse in 1 Timothy chapter 3, verse 5, because it says that, for if a man knows not how to rule his own home, how can he take care of the church of God? And to be honest with you, if you was to focus on this phase specifically and make sure that everything around you is good, it will only better the other two places. It will help you be a better mentor, a better teacher when you reach and help other people to try to get to where you want to be, whether that's you for just someone in your field. And this also gives you the ability to connect with people that you previously thought was out of your reach, because you have the skill set, you have the social skills, and you have the leadership capacity to influence people at all ranges and all areas. But all of that starts right here in this step, ruling everything around you. So if I could sum up this last point, okay, when you're doing these things, especially in this area, your whole goal is to empower the people around you. Your whole goal is to push people around you to get to where they want to be. And like I said, this can be a time-consuming step. But I'm telling you from personal experience that when you start this area right here, it makes it all the more worth it. And if I've even seen that in my personal life, because the more I have invested in my family and my friends over the years, it has paid off tremendously. It has made me a more responsible person. It has made me a more direct person in everything that I'm doing. And it's also made me more accountable, not only to them, but to myself, because if I'm going to hold them accountable for something, I have to do the same for myself, because I cannot be a person that will tell somebody to do something that I am incapable of doing. And if I have to do that and I have to live up to it. I have to push other people to do it. So if you're one of my friends out there and you notice lately, I ain't told you to do something, just know I wasn't capable of doing it. And that's why I ain't pushed you to do none of this stuff. But look, your boy getting better each and every day. Okay. But I guess with that being said, that pretty much sums up this point as well as this episode. So just a quick recap as always, your whole goal in this phase is to have dominion over everything in the world. You have now reached the place of influence that you've been desiring to get to for so long, but the journey is not over because now that you have this influence, you have to use it in other areas. And that comes in 3 phases. So the first of which is to rule everything under you. This involves you creating mentors and having mentees and things of that nature. You have interns or even youth programs or charities and stuff like that. And you use those means and those methods to reach people that's under you. All right. You pull other people up the ladder and you help give them opportunities to get to where it is that they want to be. Okay. The second one, once again, is to rule people over you. These are the people that you think are unreachable. These are the organizations and programs and opportunities that you don't think you qualify for. But because of your area of influence, you now have the ability to impact even these people that you thought were unreachable before. So your goal here is to collaborate with these people. Your goal is to continue to expand with these people, to network and build relationships with these people and or entities to get to where it want to be in order to create more exposure for them and for yourself as well. Because as I said before, once again, this is the place where your gift has made room for you. And now you're standing before great men. You're standing before great people and opportunities. And this is where you take full advantage of everything that you've worked so hard to achieve right now. Last but not least, the point that I want to make again is to rule everything around you. These are your immediate people, your immediate friends, your immediate family, your immediate associates, and your goal is to try to influence them as much as possible. It's to try to push them as much as possible. But once again, you can't hold people accountable for stuff you don't hold yourself accountable for. So if you want to be effective in this area, you have to have a high standards for yourself. You have to have high goals for yourself, and you have to hold yourself to the goals that you're going after, because only through doing that are you able to be capable of doing that for other people. But with that being said, that concludes this episode as well as this series. I hope you loved everything that you've heard so far. Hope you got something out of it. And as always, I love each and every one of you. And be sure to check out the Grounded book itself, because I included most of this stuff in this book with the exception of some of the things for this episode. All right. And you can get that once again at thegroundedpodcast.com/store. And furthermore, your boy also released the Wisdom Journal a while back. We are currently going through the Wisdom series, the first 7 days on how to improve your life. And we're walking through a proverb each and every morning at 9 a.m. So if you haven't checked those out, check out the first 2 days as well as the upcoming ones for the remainder of this weekend. With that being said, that's it for my announcements. I love each and every one of you. You all have an amazing day. Take care. Like and share the podcast, whatever platform you're on, and have an amazing week. All right. My name is Brian Boyd. I'm signing off. Peace. Hey everyone, Brian here once again. Thank you so much for tuning in to Grounded. If these messages have been a blessing to you, please consider donating at thegroundedpodcast.com/donate. Furthermore, if you're looking for books and journals and other resources that will help improve your life, business, and relationships, please be sure to check those out at thegroundedpodcast.com/store. As always, it's been a blessing. I truly love each and every one of you, and I truly hope to see you all once again very soon. All right.